Okay, so I'm going to go over compare and order numbers, and I will work on this problem here. It says to order the numbers from greatest to least. So the first strategy is to put greatest, and then a G for greatest, and then an L for least. Okay, like this. And then you have to identify how many numbers there are. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to place 4 little lines. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 little lines to identify the placement there. We'll go back to each one. I'm going to place a letter on each one also. And this is B, and this is C, and this is D. I just give it a name. You can give it a color name, or you can maybe even write a word for each. But so the easiest way is just to give it a letter. And now I'm going to place these large numbers in a place value chart. I don't have enough room here, so I'm going to use my notes here. So I'm going to create ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, and 100 million. Let me create my place value chart. And I'm going to go ahead and stick the number for A here. And I'll maybe put the letters over here. A, B, C, and D. So each one will have. So I'll go in backwards. The 5 is in the ones. The 7, the 0. The comma will touch the line. The 5, the 4, the 2. The comma touches the line. The 3, the 6, and the 6. Then I have a 5. 9, a 1, I have my comma, 1, the 2, the 8, the comma, the 3, the 6, the 6, then the next number, 9, 5, 1, comma, 8, 2, 1, comma, 3, 6, 6, and letter D, 2, 7, 7, comma on the line, 4, 1, 8, comma, touching the line, 3, 6, 6. Okay, so now it's time to compare these numbers. So to compare them, you always start on the left-hand side. And the only way to compare a number is if they're the same, but if they're different. But if they're the same, then you just skip that first column and go to the next. These are all the same, so I'm going to go ahead and slash them off. Because all of these are the same, there is nothing to compare. And because all of this column is the same, there is nothing to compare. I move on to the next column. All of them are the same, there is nothing to compare. The next column, the numbers are different. So I know this is the area where I'm going to go ahead and start comparing. Okay, so it said to place the numbers in order from greatest to least. So let's go ahead and find the greatest number first. I know that 2 is small and 1 is small, and I know 8 and 8 are the greatest so far. So I know that B and I know that D are the 2 of the greatest numbers in comparison to all these 4. So I have 8 versus 8 here. If 8 and 8 are the same, I'm going to have to look at the number right next to them. Okay, so the 2 or the 1. So it's like saying 82 or 81. Which one is greater? 82 is greater. So I know that letter B is the greatest one of all. So letter B is the greatest one of all, and I can slash that one off. So then the next one would have to be 81, which is letter D. And then, sorry, least. Okay, so letter D is the next greatest. Okay, right there. So you have 663,821 being the greatest, 821,195, and then you have 663,814,772 is the second largest, okay, the second greatest. And then Now I can go back to the yellow section, because the only reason I moved over to the next column here was because the 8 and the 8 were the same. That's why I had to look next door. See that? But now I can go back to the yellow column, and I'm going to say, okay, well, who is the smallest one of all? Well, the 1. 1 is the smallest one of all, which is letter C. So number 1 is the smallest one of all, which is letter C from the yellow column. And so I scratch that off, and then of course the only one left is A. So A would be third in spot in the line. Okay, and so now I know that the number in letter B is the greatest, the number in letter D is the second greatest, the number in letter A is the third greatest, and the least of them all is letter C. Okay, so this is the strategy you would use. And good luck.